Today is finally the day that the CSGO community has been waiting for, and that's because the Krieg or SG553 has finally been nerfed. Hey guys, my name is Fire, and today I'm going to be talking about the completely game-changing gun update that CSGO just released. Not only was the Krieg nerfed, but I'm also going to be talking about the M4a1s, Tec9, AUG, Deagle, and last, and in this case the very much least, the PP Bison. So with that being said, let's first talk about the changes to the Krieg. In the patch notes, CSGO devs state that they reduced rate of fire and accuracy to bring the weapon's value to be more in line with other rifles. And once you guys get in game and test it out for yourselves, you can tell that it feels a lot slower than other rifles and definitely won't be bought as much among players anymore, if at all. Unless you're headshotting somebody and like the first 3 bullets while holding an angle, you're probably just gonna get killed if you try to use this thing. The fire rate is just way too slow now, so it finally looks like we're going to be going back to the AK meta, as the Krieg is practically useless at close range, and honestly the AK seems like just the better option overall now, as the Krieg's fire rate is nowhere where it used to be and just doesn't seem like a viable option at all anymore. Next, let's talk about the Deagle. The patch notes state that there is an improved accuracy while jumping, lowering the time to recover accuracy after the player lands. Now, this may seem good, as we'll no longer be seeing situations like this play from Kerrigan happening anytime soon, as the recovery time after jumping is fixed. But as for the improved accuracy while jumping, it seems like this can be completely game-changing, considering the Deagle is only $700 and can 2-shot to the body and 1-shot to the head. Just jumping around corners like you have an SMG looks like it could be the new strategy based on the gameplay I've seen so far. And so far, people haven't seemed to be too happy with it, but like, how often are you just going to be jumping around corners with Deagles? I still feel like just wide swinging stuff or shoulder peeking and trying to get a shot off with the Deagle is going to be the superior strat, and people aren't just going to be jumping around like maniacs, as it obviously isn't 100% accurate while jumping, and I feel like people might just be overreacting since it's a bit more accurate than it was before, but I guess time will tell and it may very well get nerfed. Next, let's talk about the CT weapon changes, starting with the AUG, which has improved standing accuracy while unscoped and slightly reduced scoped accuracy. For me, the accuracy of both sprays feel pretty much the same whether scoped or unscoped now. And personally, I do like this a bit more, as it does give CTs a better chance to hold angles against Ts without having to scope in and be like static with their movement. And since they can consider investing in the AUG for a really good accuracy, whether scoped or unscoped, I feel like it's definitely now a viable option as a CT. Now, not only is the AUG viable, but the M4a1s has also had its price reduced to $2,900, compared to the still $3,100 M4a4, so we're definitely going to be seeing more of the M4a1s as well. Overall, the CT weapon balance of this update is really good. It gives you 3 different options that are all viable, and we'll probably be seeing all 3 main CT rifles being used a lot more frequently now, and people not just buying the M4a4. Next, let's get on to the second to last weapon change, which is the Tec9. CSGO dev stated that it has had a reduced fire inaccuracy, so now it is more accurate than it was before. Personally, I don't really notice that much of a change, and it still doesn't really seem like a viable option as a pistol on something like a force buy round, and it still seems like the Deagle is the better option. The only thing that the Tec9 really has going for it is the high armor penetration that allows it to one-shot enemies with head armor at really close range. But even without head armor, the Tec9 doesn't one-shot when it gets to far range, so considering how situational it is, if a CT isn't playing a close angle, you're probably better off with just using the Deagle. This update really doesn't seem to change the Tec9 to like a notable degree that makes it worth using. And the final weapon update we have today is the PP Bison, which now has increased armor penetration. Honestly, this is pretty much near useless, as not only does no one use the Bison, but even with this update, you're not really gonna have a reason to use it still. Like, increased armor penetration, sure, that's nice, it's a buff to the Bison, but when are you going to be using a Bison against armored opponents? By that time, you're most likely going to be upgraded to a rifle, so I wouldn't really say it's a viable option at all. Still, considering that it is one of the more expensive SMGs, it does have more ammo, but I feel like the MAC-10, MP9, or UMP, you would probably just be better off using them. So unfortunately, we will not be seeing the PP Bison meta anytime soon. And overall, that mostly wraps it up for this update. There were some other small map changes, but they aren't really anything worth going over as they are just some small tweaks. But I will leave the update page at the top of the description if you do want to check it out. But besides that, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.